couple of years ago I filmed a video in this spot and I called it Yabbying on a Floodplain. Well, today I've come back to go yabbying on the same floodplain. Hey you! You're watching Robbie Fishing. Now this lagoon is on a floodplain on the Ovens River. This floods quite frequently. I'm on a bit of a roadside area here, if you would call it a road. There's a bit of water over there. There's a little bit of water over there. And there's a little bit of water just here. I just need to work out where I'm going to put the nets. I'll put at least one in this bit of water, but I don't know whether to put the other one over there or over there. Last time I was here, I actually caught a feed of yabbies in that video, yabbying on a floodplain. I got about 12 or 13. They weren't big, but they were big enough that I could get a small feed off. And I'm hoping to be able to do that again today. Although the water is very, very black. It's very tannin stained. We've had a lot of wind, which has blown lots of leaves into the water, which leaches out all kinds of tannins and just makes the water really dark. So I don't know whether to put... I might put one in here and one in one of these other two waterways. I will do that. Let's go and put them in. This first one, I think I'll just lower it down under these tree roots here. It's actually very snaggy in here and very snaky. It's a snaggy and snaky looking spot. Now which one of these other two festered cesspools do I want to put the net in? That just looks terrible. I think I'll try the one on the other side of the road. This also looks terrible, but just not quite as terrible. Now you, who else would I be talking to?
The ghost behind you.
That one there, see?
Where?
There, where the bottle is. Folks, I've enlisted the services of my daughter Holly to help me check these nets. What's the call? I'm going to say 1.
3.
There's actually black beetles. Look at all the black beetles. I'm having a shocking run this yabby season. Everywhere I go, I try and catch yabbies, I just catch black beetles. I might empty the black beetles out, see what's in the other net, and maybe move this net over the other side. Well, seeing as though Holly didn't bring me any good luck, I better check this one myself. And it's got no yabbies, but it's got no black beetles either. So I'm going to leave this net here, and I'm going to put the other one in here as well, and leave them in overnight tonight. Despite being really dark, the water's actually quite clear. And in clear water, I find nighttime is always better for yabbies. So I'll put them both in here and leave them there for all night. I'll check them tomorrow. Right, I'm going to move this net. This is the one that was on the other side of the road. I'm just going to put it on this side of this creek. I don't like those black beetles. Everywhere I catch black beetles, I don't seem to catch any yabbies. But there was no black beetles in that net, so hopefully that's a sign. Alright, I'll leave these in now and I'll check them tomorrow. Rightio, it's the day after. These nets haven't been checked for 22 hours. They had all night. Surely there's got to be something in them now. If there's no yabbies in here now, then I won't be coming back here for a while. Yeah, yabbies. Of course the cord's got to be tangled. Come on. Righto, come on. Yabby me up. What's in there? We have yabbies. 1, 2, there's nice bait-sized yabbies actually. I need some bait-sized yabbies at the moment too, which is good. Good. A bit slow. Seven, 8 bait-sized yabbies. Right, there's 8 yabbies in here, but 2 of them appear to be deceased. So now I've got 6 bait-sized yabbies. Can I add to the tally? Am I filming? I was cut halfway through bringing that in then because I wasn't sure whether I was filming or not, but it looks like there's only 1 in here anyway. Come here, mate, don't you dare bite me. Even though it's small, it'll still hurt. Right. Perfect little yellow belly bait for my next trip to Lake Nilakudi, and that's it. Just a couple of minnows. Well, I caught 9 yabbies. I caught 8 in the net under that tree over there, and I only caught the 1 in this net, which was surprising. Unfortunately, 2 of those 9 yabbies were dead, and I had to put them back. That leaves me with 7, and I suspect, or I have a theory as to what might have happened, and I'll share that with you shortly. So here's my yabbies. Seven bait-sized yabbies. At Lake Nilakudi recently, I was getting lots of bites on yabbies, and I caught my biggest yellow belly of the day on my last trip on a yabby. Yabbies were working well, so those yabbies will get put to good use. Now, I'm going to a bit of a story for you here, so just you might get bored or you might find it interesting. This is my theory, and it may not be right, but this is my theory. I suspect that this water is very low in dissolved oxygen. I suspect that lots of leaves have fallen into the water and the tannins have leached out from the leaves, and as those leaves are decaying, the decaying process is using oxygen from the water, and that's leaving the water with low oxygen. There's no rapids or water flowing in to build oxygen or water wheels or anything. There's no pumps, there's nothing recycling the water to help it gather oxygen. So it's just sitting there sort of dormant or stagnant and using the oxygen to break down the leaves that have fallen in. As a result, we have what's called hypoxic water, or hypoxic is a term used to describe water that's got very low dissolved oxygen, which we call DO. That's not toxic water, that's different. Toxic means it's probably got chemicals and other problems in it. Hypoxic, the water can be fine, but it's just got very low oxygen, and I think that what might be happening here now. I could be wrong, this is just my theory. Now, some things can live in water with very low dissolved oxygen. Yabbies can, turtles can, carp can, and some can't. Shrimp can't. They need to get their oxygen from the water. If the dissolved oxygen content drops too low, the shrimp die. Murray cod will die, especially larger Murray cod that use a lot more oxygen. So what I think's happening is that this water, the oxygen is very, very low. It's high enough that the yabbies are still out moving and feeding, but it's low enough that they probably have to come up to the side here, stick their head out and get some air so that they can breathe. So when they're trapped in a net, they can't come to the surface to get the air, so I've probably just drowned 2 of the yabbies that I caught, which is a bit sad, but I didn't realise that was going to happen. So I think that's what's happening, and that's why when I put a heap of yabbies in a bucket, I put leaves and grasses and stuff so the yabbies can climb up to the top and get air, because in a really small space like a bucket, that dissolved oxygen is going to be used up very quickly by the yabbies and stuff in the bucket. So in a spot this big, it will take a lot longer. So that's what I think's happening. I think the oxygen's a little bit low and the yabbies need to come to the surface to get air. So too with the carp and the turtles, but they can't because they were stuck in my net, and that's why I reckon I lost 2. Anyway, folks, I hope you learned something and found that interesting, and that's just a theory. It might not be 100% right, but that's the theory that I'm running with. At the end of the day, I'm going home with a few yabbies. I've got half a dozen at home. I've got another 7 to add to them now. My next trip to Lake Nilakudi is going to be a good one. Thank you very much for watching.